Good day everyone and peace be with you. So today's topic is about the characteristics of contemporary art. So here are the objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to describe the beginning of contemporary art in the Philippines, discuss the characteristics of contemporary art, and explain the importance of process in contemporary art making. So this lesson will focus on the extreme change of artists in many years and how their works or how their arts develop over time. So the sections that will be presented will focus also on art themes that capture the talents and ideas of some of the most well-known artists around the world. So we have the art timeline that was divided by two sections, the 1900s to 1945 and the 1945 to 2000 art movement. So we will start with 1900s to 1945. So in 1900s, we have this Fauvism. So the best known artist of Fauvism is a French artist, Henri Matisse and André Derain. So the Fauvism include a radical use of natural colors that separated color from its usual representational and realistic role, giving new emotional meaning to the colors. An example of that is the trees that are color green and brown. So mostly yun yung nakikita nating kulay ng kahoy. But the artist during that time, during that year 1900s, uses blue and black. Then dinagdagan ng red skies in painting. So iniiba nila yung kulay. So bakit yun yung idea ng artist in 1900s? Because they want to express their feelings through an irrational use of color, and by that, they already created their Fauvist style. So another one, we have also Cubism. So around 1907 to 1908 by Pablo Picasso and George Braque. So this Cubism is a combination of such geometric forms and figures as a cube, as a sphere, as a cylinder, and a cone. So pinaghalo nila yung mga figures niyan to create a new painting. So kung titingnan mo ang mga works ng mga artist, parang hindi siya clear kung ano yung pinoportray nila kasi ang Cubism parang abstract art din siya. Not that contemporary abstract art na meron tayo ngayon na hindi na gumagamit ng abstract forms. Pero dati kasi gumagamit sila ng abstract forms. At least merong clear picture or merong kang makukuha na kahit konting image doon sa kanilang pinoportray. So the painters intentionally limited the use of color palettes. Mostly na ginagamit nilang colors at that time ay gray, black, and brown tones kasi they don't want their paintings to be beautiful. Kagaya ng ginagawa ng iba. But you know, what is this artist wants to be? They want to be aesthetic and simple only. So yun lang yung gustong mangyari ng artist sa kanilang artworks. Another one, we have also Futurism. This Futurism led by Marinetti between 1909 to 1914 after World War I. So this art focuses on dynamic vision of the future and incorporated portrayals of urban landscapes as well as new technologies. Ano yung mga new technologies na nag-arise that time? The train, the cars, airplanes, na until na makikita natin. So, depende kung ano yung mga nadadagdag or ano yung mga nakikita nilang mag-i-exist in the future. So, yun yung nilalagay nila. So, in-advance na niya yung possible na mag-i-exist in the future through his art. Next is we have this Dada. Dada is also what we call Dadaism. This form or this art was a form of artistic anarchy that challenged the social, challenged the political and cultural values of that time after the World War I. So Dada was an abstract principle na merong pinoportray. Yung pinoportray ng Dadaism ay yung mga nangyari sa World War I. That's why some people ay hindi naniniwala na ang Dada ay isang art. But what they did, they called it anti-art. No, anti-art dahil sa pinortray or dahil sa pinoportray and dahil yung creator ay hindi talaga nag-declare that Dadaism is an art. So not only in painting but Dadaism together with Cubism, Futurism, and others ranging from performance art to poetry, photography, sculpture, painting, and collage. So, hindi lang siya sa painting talaga kumapit. Another one is we have also the surrealism. So, surrealism influenced by Dada in World War I and founded by the poet-artist André Breton in Paris in 1924. So, this art is a movement of fascinating to look at and study today as a reminiscent of some of our strangest dreams and idea. So, ito yung deeper human consciousness ng isang tao that instead of asking on what they've done, so, ginagawa na lang nila, ay dinadaan na lang nila sa painting. Of course, the emotions, yun yung mga talagang nag-a-arise kasi natapos yung World War I. So, bit-bit at bit-bit pa nila yung takot at emosyon nila in World War I. So, masakit na pangyayari sa kanila. So, imbis na balikan, they are looking forward to the things that makes them calm. So, another one is we have also propaganda. So, propaganda, ito yung movement na nag-start ang World War II, where surrealism ended. So, meaning propaganda is about advertisement or spreading of information to persuade people to join with an organization. They use it to communicate with other people through art or through literature. Not just spreading a good news dito sa propaganda or advertisement, but sometimes it is used to harm people. Sirain nila ang dignidad ng isang tao. But mostly ginagamit siya for political propaganda. So we have also the art movement from 1945 to 2000. So the rise of existentialism to performance art. So we will start with existentialism. So this art focuses on human existence. And some of the arts of existentialism is abstract din. So, may mga ginagamit din sila to portray a scene about the life of man. So, minsan, nakafocus ang existentialism art sa feelings ng tao. So, kung ikaw ang artist, nakadepende din ang gawa mo sa feelings mo ngayong araw, sa experience mo for this day, or experience or feelings mo sa mga nakaraang araw. So, example, nakaranas ka ng failures, despair, anger, reason, joy, or peace. So, lahat ng yan, depende yan sa dinaramdam mo, sa emotion mo today. So, yun yung gagawan mo ng painting. So, by that, malalaman din ng iba kung ano yung mga expressions ng artist and ng ibang tao na rin. Next is we have abstract expressionism that emerged in 1940s to 1950s. So, parang emotional expressionism din ito. And it is considered as the birth of modern art. Dahil abstract din ito, the viewers will be having a deeply understanding of an image. So, bawat artist ay hindi basta-bastang gumagawa ng sarili nilang painting kasi pinag-iisipan din nila ito ng maayos na kung pwede ay magkaroon ng conventional thinking yung kanilang viewers. So, mismo, ang viewers yung magdi-discover kung anong ibig sabihin ng kanilang art. Another one, we have also this pop art. Pop art emerged in 1950s and cultural-based art, itong pop art na ito na merong malaking impact sa life ng isang tao. So, mostly ginagawa or ginagamit kung ano yung na-observe ng artist sa kanilang environment. Yun yung gagamitin nila sa kanilang art. So, their art could be performance or nilalagay sa comic books or sa movie magazines na kung pwede or kung minsan ay may mga dialogue na din. So, any form of advertisements ay ginagamit itong pop art as long as they deliver a good message to the people. Then, we have also the surrealism. Surrealism is a very small movement that interpreted the pop art movement in 1960s, or also known as photorealism. So, but not all things that you've seen in a photo would exist kasi mas nangingibabaw ang ilusyon sa ganitong art. Yung pictorial art that cannot be seen by the human eye kasi they created illusion art. So, there are points na masasabi mong meron. Pero most of their arts na ginawa ay based on artist imagination only. Another one, neo-expressionism and feminism art. So, neo-expressionism art accepted and rejuvenated historical and mythological imagery. So, neo-expressionism returned to portraying recognizable objects such as the human body in a rough and violently emotional way. So, katawan ng tao yung makikita. Bakit sila pinagsama ng feminism art? Kasi the subject of this art is women. Mga babae yung ginagamit dito. Another one, we have also performance art. So performance art was still existing until this present time. So this art features a live presentation to an audience. Ano yung mga halimbawa ng performance art? Your acting, your music, your dance, your painting, your poetry. I know that all of you merong mga ganitong talent. Siguro ang iba sa inyo hindi lang pinapakita dahil nahihiya. But some of you are really exposed sa mga ibang tao or really exposed to present their talents in stage. So habang tumatagal ang performance art, there are performances na nadadagdag that even some artists ay hindi nakakasabay kasi most of the people are talented in this present time. And I know you are one of them. So, kailan nga ba ito nagsimula itong performance art na ito? So, nagsimula siya noong 20th century. Okay, so now let's proceed to styles and movements in contemporary art. So, first one is abstract expressionism. So, just what I explained earlier, only the artist could understand their own work. So, in kinetic art, kinetic art was presented by mechanized movement. So, parang analogy siya between machines and human bodies. Merong manifestation ng motion or presenting works of art which move. So, gumagalaw or parang gumagalaw siya sa ating paningin. So, example, yung bicycle wheel, gawa ng tao by a machine. Pero pag tingnan natin, the way siya umikot, it creates already its own art based sa movement niya. Kahit nga hindi siya umikot, parang umiikot na rin siya sa paningin niya. So, for kinetic artists, the arise of the machine signaled the vital human spirit. That's why bicycle wheel is kinetic art because of free-wheeling motion. So, yun yung kinetic art. Another is we have this op art, short for optical art. So, meaning nakikinat natin and how we relate to what we see. So, some artists use shapes, colors, and patterns in special ways to create images that looks as if they are moving or blurring. So, minsan masasabi natin gumagalaw pero kasi pag gumagalaw siya, matatawag natin siyang kinetic art. Pero sa optical art kasi, akala mo simple dots, simple lines, or object lang siya. Pero meron pang behind art na kung saan mas may makikita ka pang ibang object na marirelate mo sa imagination or instinct mo. Or itong nakikita mong picture ay pwede mong gawa na sarili mong definition. So, yun yung op art. We have also the performance art. So, performance art, yung mga ginagawa natin ngayon, na ginagawa yung talents sa school, sa ibang occasions na piniperform natin. Kahit hindi kayo nagpiperform, I know that meron kayong nakatagong mga arts dyan o performance art dyan. And then next, we have also environmental art. So, in environmental art, it covers a very broad term. Kasi sakop niya ng lahat yan eh. Just like yung land art, yung earth art, sustainable art, and conceptual art. But this environmental art is usually created for one particular place, cannot be moved, and cannot be exhibited in museums or galleries. So, kung mai-exhibit man ang environmental art, so sa ibang form na yun siya ng art. Kagaya ng sa digital or photographic art. So, by this environmental art, it helps us to understand nature, ecosystems, environmental forces, or problems na dapat ayusin, just like mga landscapings or kung may mga nasira ba dyan sa environment nyo, so makikita siya through this environmental art. The important thing is the care and beautification of environment. Next, we have feminist art. So in feminist art, a dialogue between the viewer of the artwork through the inclusion of women's perspective. So ito ay women's work, kaya nga tinawag siya na feminist. So, in the field of painting, performance art, and craft. So, all artworks are inspired by alternative materials. So, all are connected to female gender that even their works are feminism. So, yung mga gumagawa or mga artist dito ay mga babae at yung mga ginagawa nila or pinipaint nila is for pambabae din. So, walang halo dyan. Kaya siya tinawag na feminist art. Okay, let's proceed to post-minimalism art. So, what is this post-minimalism art? So, this is also what we call process art. Because artists often let their materials processes, just like pouring or wrapping or yung tinatali ng mga objects. So, this art is back to nature movement. Next, we have also video art. So, you are really familiar with this because this relies on moving pictures and comprises video or audio data. So, video art can also take many forms. Halimbawa, recordings that are broadcast, distributed videotapes, mga video monitors, displaying live or recorded images, and sound like your Facebook Live. So, parang napapansin ko marami sa inyo yung nag-Facebook Live ngayon. So, by that, you are creating your video art, own version of your video art. So, this would be a major for artists. So, artist na kayo ng video art. Next, graffiti art, or tinatawag na street art or subway art. So, kala natin vandals yung mga nakikita natin sa mga walls na yan. But, we don't know that it is an art already. So, makikita lang natin siya in public transport, sa mga buildings or other property or private property. So, parang, ano siya, tingnan, parang doodle sa mga public walls. And then, ano yung mga ginagamit? Of course, yung mga paints, yung mga pilox, para mas madaling lagyan ng kulay at maging makulay yung wall. But you know, sometimes, ito yung way or voice ng tao to protest, to express their desire. Ano yung gustong mensahe nila for the higher authorities? Yun nga lang, nasa informal way siya kasi it is not in the form of meeting, in letter. Yun lang, nilalagay lang nila sa walls para marinig din ng mga higher authorities kung ano yung sinisigaw ng mga tao. And then, we have also postmodernism art. So, in postmodernism art or after modern art is a traditional art. No, traditional art pa rin siyang tawagin. So, this is also a conceptual art. So, example is the way we dress. Kasi every period talaga iba-iba yung way of dressing natin. Pero in postmodern art, nag-engage siya ng style that fitted on our art today. Ano yon? Yung t-shirt and yung pants. Parang nasa kalagitnaan. Medyo less formal nga lang kung tingnan. But postmodernism has the creation of applied art, traditional art. Pero rejected niya ang traditional values dito and conservative assumptions of art. That's why nag-apply siya ng some arts today. So parang nasa kalagitnaan ang postmodernism art. Next, we have this body art. I don't know if you really or you've tried to experience this body art. So, this is the art made in human body. So, the most common forms of body art are tattoos and body piercing. So, minsan na dinidisplay talagang whole body para makita yung body shape kasama ng ibang colored tattoo sa body. So, some may don't like that kind of art kasi madumi daw. Pero according sa mga artists, it is their form of expression. So, wala tayong magawa dyan kung yun yung gusto nila. So, most of the common theme of body art are clothes and nude. So, it's either nakadamit or wala. So, internal and external parts of the body. For the body is the vehicle for language. So, nakadepende rin siya sa model. Next, we have this digital art. So, digital art, it describes technological art or the interpretation of technology. So, kasali na dito ang computer art, multimedia art, ang cyber art. No? So, these arts was, pinag-isa na. Bakit siya pinag-isa? No? Kasi, isa rin naman ang purpose nila. So, the rise of the World Wide Web or WWW added a layer of connectivity resulting in a shift in language. So, it is preferred the term digital art. Pinag-isa na lahat. So, nandyan na ang vision, nandyan na lahat ang message or emotion ng artist gamit ang medium or computer tool para mas mapaganda ang art niya. So, minsan ina-applyan pa yan ng effects gamit ang ibang software or application para mas ma-appreciate ng viewer. So always remember that art is an individual expression of artist vision. So hindi natin sila maka-question, hindi natin sila ma-judge, kasi yun yung way nila. Next. Okay, so next we have this geometric artist, Jackson Marcel and Wassily. So they are known for the geometric artwork. So they are just like cubism na gumagamit ng figures. So pansinin niyo ang painting. So do you observe some figures like cubes, sphere, cylinder, and a cone? So mostly makikita siya talaga. What about the colors? This, yes. So these three artists was not influenced by using gray, black, and brown tones. So hindi lang sila nag-stick sa ganyang color. Colorful siya tingnan ngayon. But instead, they put some emphasis on their art to be more beautiful and colorful. So aside from this art, may kanya-kanyang arts din naman silang ginawa. Hindi lang itong geometric forms na meron sila. Now, we have also Henry Moore and Henry Matisse that were identified with contemporary art because their styles and ways of art making are very different from the traditional ways. So aside from painting, they have also their sculpture. So sculpture, which is realistic in role or the products of a great variety of races and periods in history. So many different social and religious system na binalikan ng mga artist natin. Pero itong si Moore, usually suggestive of the female body yung kaniyang ginagawa sa kaniyang sculpture. Mostly ito yung sculpted artwork niya talaga. So these two artists became well known because of their works in some countries. So yung mga ginawa nila, na-display yan siya sa ibang museum. Not only in the Philippines but of course sa museum or galleries ng ibang bansa. Next is we have Victorio Edades. So Victorio Edades was the first to break the rules of the art. He did not show natural forms nor perspective and used bold stroke and bright colors. So through his determination to stand by his ideology, he became a bridge between the past and the present art. Kasi itong si Victorio ang nag-introduce ng modern ideas in the Philippine art scene and standed on his own ideology for the development of Philippine art. So, hindi siya gaya-gaya sa ibang artist. So, meron siya talagang pinanghawakan na kanya. So, he attested that art is ever the expression of man's emotion and not a more photographic likeness of nature. So, ang ginawa niya, imbes na i-reflect niya ang kanyang art sa mga nakikita niya, he made it through his own experiences. And the colors that was applied is his rhythmic expression form. So, galing yun talaga sa kanya. Next, we have Descartes, Botong, Francisco, and Galo Ocampo that were influenced by Western artists. So the abstraction, expressionism, and surrealism were evident in their paintings. So Carlos Francisco was behind the modern art in the Philippines, together with Galo Ocampo and Victorio Edades. Pero ang talagang nag-introduce is si Victorio. So they were called triumvirate because of their mural paintings. So, tingnan natin yung artworks. Okay. So, yan yung artworks ni Francisco and Ocampo. So, si Ocampo naman was known for his mural painting called Hispanidad. Okay, Hispanidad at UST. And in 3 years later, he painted the Brown Madonna. So, a Filipino representation of the Blessed Virgin. So, kung titingnan natin, kahit mag-collab yan sila ni Francisco, ni Ocampo, ni Edades, meron pa rin silang individual artworks that makes them famous in different fields. So, mas lalong gumaling kasi nag-collab yan sila lahat. Next, we have this Romeo Tabuenas painting. The heavy black Carabao is shown standing on thin legs that disappear in a flat background. Ayan. So that the painting of Romeo reminisces the rural areas in the Philippines. And his style is simplified yet defined figures. So this art is a giving birth to the rule of forerunners of modernism in the Philippines. So this painting was displayed at Honolulu Museum of Art in New York. So may na-display din ito sa public library sa New York. the Philippine National Museum in Manila, and in the Palace of the Fine Arts. So, hindi lang sa Philippines na expose ang ganitong painting ni Tabuena, but of course, into other countries. Next, we have Hernando Ocampo. So, Ocampo used geometric forms in strong red colors overlapping with shades of yellow to brown. So, Ocampo is a Filipino artist best known for his abstract paintings, following in modernist tradition. So, following modernist traditions, Ocampo used bold color palettes and geometric figures in some of his paintings. So, parang simple yung mga paintings niya, but it's very elegant because of the color application din ni Ocampo. Next, we have this Vicente Manansala, who painted in abstract cubism. His human forms engage in genre such as those in his market scene. So Manansala is known for his cubist paintings and prints. So through his depictions of contemporary Filipino life, Manansala addressed issues of intimacy, poverty, and culture. So yung message ng painting is about what he's seen in society. That's why his melding of social commentary with painting had a profound influence on the younger Filipino artists of his generation. So, very observant itong si Manansala sa kanyang paligid. Okay, yan. Mga nakikita niya. Next, we have Cesar Legazpi. Cesar Legazpi used his art as a commentary to the state of hard labor in the Philippines. He employed transparent cubism with a lot of flowing lines that give movement to his human forms. Okay, yan yung example. So, Legazpi's style and daring themes contributed significantly to the advent and eventual acceptance of modern art in the Philippines. Ginawa niya yan para maipakita how Filipinos work hard for their family. So, aside from that, marami pa siyang different themes na ginawa na display on different museum around the world. So, very hardworking kasi ang mga Pinoy. That's why yun yung pinagkunan niya ng subject of art niya. Next is the performance art of Nicolas Aca. So actually, the performance art that he made was clothing with mud while walking on streets. So it really started this kind of art when Typhoon Sendong hit Cagayan de Oro. So not only with himself but together with some other artists. Then, they did it again when Typhoon Yolanda damaged the Eastern Visayas region. So, he acted as one of the casualties kasi gusto niya ma-experience ito. So, why did he make this kind of performance art? Because he wants to show what happened to the people during that time. And that art was not limited to Bagyong Sendong in Yolanda. Meron pa yan. May mga performance art pa yan siya or performance act na ginawa about social and political issues. So ano yun? Yung Ampatuan Massacre, yung pork barrel scam, the Lumad killings in Surigao, and SAF 44. So all in all, he believes that good art requires honesty of intention more than just truthfulness of perspective. So hindi pwedeng itago lang yung ganitong mga pangyayari. Kaya ginawa niya itong performance art na ganito. So, with this, the artist achieved his purpose. And according to him, according pa kay Aca, art must stir the senses, challenges the status quo, and raise awareness. Awareness about what will happen and what happened already in our society. So that's all for today. So thank you so much for listening. Do this activity and exercises.